Oh, yes.
Welcome back once again, everyone. Today I've got a review for War for Cybertron Earthrise. First time I've been able to say that. Trip Up and Daddy-O, or as longer time fans might know him, Big Daddy. This is my very first Earthrise review, so that's exciting. I managed to get these guys from Amazon along with their wave mates, who I'll review after them. They are coming in officially as War for Cybertron Earthrise number 3. They're both Autobots and they're part of the Hot Rod Patrol, which was formerly comprised of 4 members, but just like with Siege, they're cutting the teams down to 2, so that is unfortunate. So if you're familiar with my reviews, you know how this goes. We're going to take a look at the toys and their packaging, we'll see the instructions, and then we'll look at Trip Up and Big Daddy themselves. And yes, I am going to call him Big Daddy. I like that name a lot more. And then at the end, I will give my final thoughts. So this packaging, again, first bit of Earthrise I'm seeing in person. Very similar to the Siege packaging, however, it switches out that dark, like brown and purple for this kind of neat little, I don't know what you call it, turquoise kind of coloring. Kind of neat. The artwork we have here, I like. It's the 2 characters in their vehicle modes, racing forward, headlights beaming, and then in the background you have a micromaster base, which might be Ironworks, I'm not sure. It's not really colored. So, you know, it is hammering home the point that this line is going to be all about the micromasters and the whole interconnecting bases. Anyway, we'll turn this thing around, take a look at the back. And here you have renders of our 2 guys. They're robot vehicle modes. They both take 4 steps to transform, and looks like they use the same transformation scheme, but we'll see here for sure. A little bit of cross-sell with old Ironworks to show how they can drive around on and stuff. And then right here it calls out their team name, the Hot Rod Patrol. And then, again, in multiple languages. And that's really all there is on the packaging. These are micromasters, so they have the simplest of the packaging. All right, so I'm really mad at myself now because I completely forgot that every bit of Earthrise packaging comes with a piece of a map to the Transformers universe. And this one's no exception. However, I didn't think about it, and I tore the bejesus out of that piece. So, yeah, I just did that. I'm still gonna cut it out, try to get some clear tape and tape it up, I guess, but that's gonna be an eyesore there. So be careful. These little diamond-shaped map pieces are hiding behind the figures, so they're not entirely obvious until you open the package up. So be very careful about not tearing this up if you care about finishing that map. Don't be like me. All right, here is the map piece, cut out from the packaging and taped up. Cover up my blender. Luckily the tape's very clear, so it's hard to tell that it's there. But you can still see the tear in the image, so that stinks. So it's interesting. It's got what appear to be 2 shooting stars, and then this like red chain effect, which I think is part of like a digital readout or something. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I can't wait to see this map, slowly come together and see what we get out of it. And now for the instructions. Now this is interesting. It's done up in this blue color, which is very similar to colors that they've done on the instructions for neutral characters or mini-cons. I don't think that's what they're getting at here. I think this might just be the new color for instruction books for Earthrise, because their Decepticon counterparts use the same coloring. Spoiler alert, by the way. So here you have renders of our 2 guys. You have their names in English, but you also have them in Ancient Autobot. So that's pretty cool. You go ahead, open this up. And something that immediately caught my eye that's brand new is they have tech specs on the instructions. So that's really interesting. I don't know if they've ever done that before, really. It's kind of a good way to integrate the 2, so you don't have to hold on to 2 different things. Tech specs are all in Ancient Autobot, but they translate to strength, intelligence, speed, endurance, courage, teamwork, and skill. Teamwork's a new one, and you'll notice it's one set of tech specs for, this duo right here. So they don't each get their own readout. So this seems to be, a new type of tech spec for the actual Micromaster teams themselves. And they swap out the firepower rating with teamwork. So pretty cool. And then here on the bar graph, you have these symbols, which are undoubtedly the numbers 1 through 10. So I did see evidence of, ancient Autobot numbers being used on a different toy. I can't remember which one it was now. I think it might have been Siege Mirage. And, up to that point, they really didn't actually have numbers in that alphabet. So I guess Hasbro went and made some up. But there they are. So the more you know. All right, here we have the transformation. And kind of like I predicted, that these are both completely different molds, but they utilize the exact same transformation scheme, exact same engineering. So, the result is Big Daddy not quite looking like his classic self in robot mode. And you have the cross cell with Ironworks again. And on the back, you have the transformation to their combined weapon mode, because those haven't gone away. And interestingly, there's no name for this weapon mode. So it's just some unnamed cannon thing they turn into. I don't know if that was an oversight or if they're just dropping the names. I'm not sure. And then here, just a little bit of cross cells with, how they interact with different toys. All right, here we have Trip Up and Daddy-O, or Big Daddy, in their car modes. And, they share a general motif. They have the big exposed engine block, and they have the flame paint on their sides with Autobot symbols on there, so that's cool. However, they're obviously two very different types of cars. You can see Big Daddy's is a much wider, more muscly looking car, and this looks more like your typical sports car here. And I'm not a car enthusiast. You guys might know what actual models these are based off of, but I don't. Overall paint is about average for Micromasters. They have the painted glass and windshields, got the flame decals, and that's really about it. Obviously the engines are painted. Underside, just full-on exposed robot for both of them. But yeah, it is what it is. It's a small price point. Oh, I thought for a second he had taillights. That's just his legs. Guess I can kind of double his taillights. I don't know. It's very simple. They roll not so great. I have a hard time getting traction on this very smooth surface. Of course, if you're driving them on something with a little more friction, it might work better. Right now, to transform these two, let's start with Trip Up. First thing you want to do is unfold the rear end of the car, make the legs, separate the halves like that. And then this hood section, you're gonna pry loose from the headlights. Just flip it all the way down like so. Lastly, unplug his arms from the sides, pose however you want, and that's it. Very simple transformation, not a lot going on there. But it's also kind of your classic tiny car robot transformation. The only thing that's a little bit different is the hood folding down as a backpack. But yeah, that's what you get. Keep it simple, but he does look nice. Look at that. Lovely paint on him. The thighs are completely painted. A little bit on his upper chest, and then the head is painted green with a silver face. I don't think it articulates. No, it's stuck in place there. And he's got the big screw hole chest, which is used for their combination. On the back, you can see the handle, which is also used for said combination. So he seems to have a little bit of a hard time standing up. Doesn't have much support in the back section. So he's probably gonna flop over a couple times, honestly. Try not to knock him over. Yeah, there he goes. You know what? Out of my way. Okay, same thing with Big Daddy. Put the feet down, separate, flip the hood back, get the arms out, and there you go. Now he has pretty much the same paint apps as robot mode. Thighs, upper chest, helmet, and face. His face is more of a metallic purple than silver. And yeah, that's what these two end up looking like in their main robot modes. And again, Big Daddy doesn't mimic his classic appearance so much. He used to have like a big old, I think it was part of his hood or something on his chest. They got rid of that to give these guys the same engineering. So that is a thing that happened. And now for the transformation to their weapon modes. I'm gonna partially transform them back to their vehicle mode. This guy first, put his feet back together. You're gonna turn his waist 180, flip the handle out, push arms back, and then bring the hood back up. And that's that. Big Daddy's even simpler. Put the feet back together, press his arms back in, flip out the handle, and connect like so. All right, now you're gonna plug Big Daddy's handle into Trip Up's chest, like so. Try not to do that. A little bit of a tight fit, so you're really gonna press in there, just be careful. But they should end up lining up fairly well. All right, and that is the weapon mode. And it's very reminiscent of the other car Micromaster weapons that we've gotten. Big difference is that they hold together a lot better. It's much less floppy. They use much tighter joints on these guys this time. So, you know, it looks silly, but at least it holds together well. You can see it very, very solid. So that is cool. Now to show him off, I've enlisted the help of Ultra Magnus because honestly, I was thinking he really doesn't get talked about anymore, like at all. It's kind of weird. He just kind of dropped from the conversation, which is a shame because probably the best G1 Magnus we've had since, you know, like the original. Also, he's a good size to wield these because the Micromaster weapons tend to be a little large for Deluxe to hold. A little kind of silly, but yeah, that's what it is. You got the 4 gun barrels here and fairly simple, but it looks all right. You know, I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10, maybe. All right, and this really concludes our look at the Hot Rod Patrol Micromaster team. As far as my final thoughts on these two, I do really like how much their colors contrast. You have a guy that's mainly white and green, then you have black and orange. I'm not sure if they're gang molded or not. They very well could be, because I think the blacks on Trip Up are the same color black plastic that's used on Big Daddy. So they could be gang molded, though there wouldn't be a whole lot of overlap between their plastic colors. I think these are two pretty solid looking car Micromasters. I don't like how samey they look as far as their form, their silhouette. And again, Big Daddy or Daddy-O is a pretty far cry from his original appearance, which is weird to me, right? Like, they made the trouble of not making them just like a retooling of each other, but they changed Daddy-O's transformation scheme to be so different from the original. I don't know. So that's my only real dislike with the set, I guess, is just the weird inaccuracy to the original toy. Weapon mode, despite the fact that it looks silly, is again the most solid car gun I've seen from either Siege or Earthrise. And overall, I think they're a fun set. You may have some issues getting this guy to stand up straight, but hopefully, with the right poses, right angles, won't be too much of a problem. But of course, this is only my opinion on the toys. What do you think of them? Are they a good way to start off a new toy line? Are you impressed? Are they more of the same? I'd love to know what you think of them in the comments section. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to toss it a like. Let YouTube know that you are enjoying these and that you would like to see more. If you do want to see more, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you always get a heads up when I post something new. I thank you for joining me on my first ever Transformers Earthrise review. And with all that said, I will see you next time.